Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I am working on a 2002 Lexus IS300 and I will be showing you how to replace the lower front ball joints on this car. Obviously you can see I got it up on jack stands already, and you probably should know where the lower ball joint is. It's obviously down on the bottom below this. You will need a ball joint separator. Probably could use a pickle fork. I'll show you what I'm going to be using. I will be using this thing to try and be as gentle to the ball joint, the tie rod, because you will have to remove the tie rod, and I'm trying not to damage the tie rod boot if I can help it. And this is aluminum and this is smooth right here, and usually this does a pretty good job at trying to save them. Alternatively, you could use a pickle fork, which looks like that guy. This is a wider one. This one right here is a skinnier one. Either one of those will work. These will most likely damage the ball joint, so try not to do that. But this should work for any 2001 through 2005 Lexus IS300. This will also work for the second generation GS300s because those have the same ball joints. I don't know if it'll work on the GS400s or 430s. It may not. I don't know. You'd have to do your own research. Let's just get right into it. I went and got some of these ball joints right here. Moog. I love Moog. They work really good. There is a right and a left side. As you can see, the last two digits, there's a 66 and a 67. So if you are looking to get some of these, make sure you get the left and right side because they are specific. Alright, so you get the bag open. You can see right here, they already come, I don't think these come pre-greased yet because, or actually yes they do, there is some grease already in here. But before you go on ahead and put them on, you do need to put the Zerk fitting on. This just screws right into the side here. Not all ball joints will be like this. These ones do. So it's an 8mm. Just want to make sure you get it tightened up all the way on there to where it's flush with the metal, like so. Because if you don't put these on there, obviously if you go install these, it'll just squeeze all the grease right out of here. What I do like about the Moog guys is that they have all new hardware. These are grade 10.9. And obviously you can use the stock Lexus ones if you want, or you can use these. Either one will work, and it comes with the new cotter pin as well. So I'm only going to show you guys how to do one side, obviously, because you don't, obviously it'd be the same for the other side. I will recommend getting a bungee cord or maybe some zip ties, long zip ties to hold the brake rotor and caliper and stuff up out of the way, because that will probably get in your way. But aside from that, let's just get right into me showing you how to do it. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this now in the video. I'm sorry for the wind, it's just out of control today. I don't know what's going on. But when you look up underneath the car, you'll notice that you have your ball joint right here. I believe this will be a 19mm nut. It will have a cotter pin in here that you need to take off, but I'm not gonna do anything with this just yet. What I'm first gonna do is loosen up these two bolts right here. These bolts are holding the ball joint to the spindle. Don't remove them, just loosen them up, and then after that we can go on ahead and loosen this guy up on the bottom. So these are 17s. You can use an impact if you want, or you can use a regular ratchet. That should work as well, but they are 17s. They shouldn't be too tight. That one's loose already. And this one right here is loose as well. So you just want to loosen them up by hand, or get them to where you can loosen them up by hand or mostly free. And then what I'm going to do now is go ahead and remove the cotter pin from this guy and remove the, I believe this is a 19mm. So let me go get some tools. I'll be right back. got the cotter pin out. Make sure that this is a 19. Yes, it is a 19. Okay, this thing is now loose. Perfect. Alright, now we'll move to the other side and I'll show you what to do with the, we're going to have to remove this tier tie rod, and then we're going to go on ahead and fully remove these two 17s. Alright, over here at this tie rod end, I went on ahead and turned the wheel all the way to the right, so that way we can get more access, but this has a cotter pin too. Yep, got that off, and I believe this guy is a 17. I'm not too sure. Let me check. Yep, this is definitely a 17. So if you have your pickle fork, you can get in here and break that loose. It's kind of up to you what you want to do now. If you loosen the bottom 17s that we loosened up earlier, this whole brake knuckle will pretty much lift off of the ball joint. You see? So that moves just like that. So, like I said, you want to support this. Here's a ball joint right here. It's attached to the tie rod down there. I'm actually going to loosen this 10mm right here. So, I mean, this is not really pulling on this too hard. There's still slack, but I'm going to loosen it and pull this out of here, and then that way I can try and I don't know, zip tie this up or bungee cord it up somewhere. So give me a minute. Alright, got a shoestring up there just kind of holding that in, and I got my jack pretty much taking the rest of it. It's solid, it's just staying there. So now we can go on ahead and break this guy free and break this one free. Then we can just install the new one. As you can see, this is obviously not very sturdy, so if you want to try and hit it with a ball joint separator, like with the pickle fork, this way might not work. You might need to leave this attached first and then just hit it off like I showed you earlier. However, since I'm using this tool, I don't really have to hit anything. It'll do the work all on its own, so I'm hoping that this way will work. Alright, got the tie rod off. I was going to try and use my tool on this lower ball joint, but it won't fit. So since I'm replacing it anyway, I'm going to go on ahead and use the more aggressive method and just hit it with the pickle fork and a hammer. There you go. Wipe all this off. Go ahead and grab our new ball joint and just stick that guy on there. Alright, well, got the new ball joint here. You can see it's clearly marked L for left. When you get these on here, this castle then will be torqued to 83 foot-pounds, and then the two 17mm bolts that go into these slots are also 83 foot-pounds. Go ahead and just slip this guy into place in here, like so. And tighten this up. Then you can put the tie rod on here as well. Don't know what I did with that nut. Here it is. Alright, so it turns out that the Moog new nut on the bottom is a 22mm. So get that guy on there. cotter pin in. And at this point, you can just take this guy and set it back down onto here. So it might take a little finesse just to get these lower ball joint guys lined up. What I'm going to do is take my jack and jack up the lower control arm, because right now at the angle that they're at, it's not going to work. So you're probably going to have to jack up the lower control arm, and then everything should line back up. So I'm going to try and do that. Alright, got those on and tightened up. A little challenging to get that lined up, but I mean, if I knew a trick to tell you guys, using the jack is probably the most helpful way to try and get that stuff lined up. Aside from that, everything is on and back together now, so this job is really not too hard to do. These type of ball joints are actually a little bit easier to deal with than other cars, because other cars you'd have to take them to a shop and have them pressed out and pressed back in. These ones are just a separate piece, which is really good. The only thing left you have to do is to reconnect that wheel speed sensor if you did take it off with the 10mm. Aside from that, I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's pretty easy to put it back in. Aside from that, that's pretty much it. So if you have any comments or questions, just ask them in the comment section below. If it's your first time on the channel, I appreciate you stopping by and watching the video. I did start a new channel as well. If you guys want to check that out, in the description in all of my videos, you can definitely check that out. It's definitely car related, and I think you guys would enjoy it. So feel free to hit the like button and the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll catch you guys next time.